can't do that. You know, we had a client, I was talking to a client the other day, and they listened to the strategy that I run, and one element of it is open houses, which I really, really like, okay, for two reasons. Convenient for the vendor, get out once, get the house ready once. Secondly, put the buyers under loads of pressure. Brilliant. Wang them all in the house. They can all see each other. They know they're not the only one. Lovely. They really liked that. They took it to their current agent and said, oh, we think we'd quite like to run an open house. Oh, we don't do open houses. What do you mean you don't do open houses? You do viewings. Just do them all at the same time. How hard is that? Not that I'm worried about it, because they didn't want to steal that part of my strategy. Great, happy days. But that's just because their rule book says they can't do open houses. I mean, how? The client was asking for it, and they couldn't respond, wouldn't respond, didn't respond. I don't know. I don't really care, because the business is going to come in my direction eventually. But that's a good example of, you can't be that restrictive with people and the way we choose to do this job, because you're dealing with, ultimately we're dealing with people, but more importantly, we're dealing with people's emotions. That's what sits at the heart of a house sale.
And it's not, not a one size fits all either. You know, what works for, depending on that client's circumstances, the time frame in which they need to move, where they need to move to, you know, understanding that journey, and also the demographic of where they live, what sort of buyer is going to be ideal for that house. You know, there's certain strategies that you would implement depending on so many factors. So you have to be movable.
Absolutely. I mean, that goes right down to the simplest of things. So when you're trying to make the listing appointment with people, you know, if I'm a high street agent, I work 9 to 5, maybe through to 6 sometimes, you know, Friday, Monday to Saturday, maybe Saturday afternoon if you're lucky, right? But actually, so does the vendor probably, because they've mostly got jobs, you know. So actually seeing me at 11 o'clock on a Monday morning, it's probably not that helpful to them, to be honest. But if they need to see me at 8 o'clock on a Sunday evening, fine, I'll do that. If I'm in a high street agency and I'm hamstrung by these rules, or in any corporate environment, I can't possibly do that. I don't work then. I'm at home then. Well, I run my own business, and I've got to flex with what my client base needs, because, like I said, you're dealing with people who've got jobs, you're dealing with people who can't necessarily do it. So if you want to deliver for them and you want to support them, you have to work around what they need from me as an agent. And if they need updates on a Sunday evening, well, they'll get updates on a Sunday evening, because that's what's required. You know, like I said, you're dealing with people in this industry. That's what we're dealing with. Yes, there's financial elements involved. Of course there is. People got to be able to afford this, that, and the other. So they've got to do financial numbers. But fundamentally, you're dealing with people's emotions. People buy from people. And if they buy a house because they love it. 9 times out of 10. Unless you're dealing with investors who are doing it for a commercial reason, most house sales and purchases in this country are done because people are going to live in that property, and they will only do it if they love it. So you are very much dealing with people's emotions. And when you're trying to get people to sell a house that they've lived in for so long and turn it from their home into a property, because the language is quite important, their home becomes a property that is being sold. That's a massive journey for people to go on. You know, and they've got to trust the person that's doing it with them. And the people who are coming in to buy it, they're buying their dream. They're buying the next stage in their life journey. You know, so you're dealing with people's emotions. You can't be rules driven, because it doesn't work like that. People's emotions don't work like that.
No, that's right. Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed talking to you, like I always do.
Listening to me, you mean?
That's standard, Neil. That's okay. I ask a question and you self-discover by yourself. It's fine. And that's the best part of coaching. That's what you're supposed to do. So you always come to the conclusion on your own, which is great. But look, let's revisit this again in a few months' time. I'm sure the business would have moved on, and I will be busy working to find the right people to join your business for you. Don't you worry.
Neil Mercer number 2, eh? Crikey, that's a scary thought in itself.
That is a scary thought, my goodness.
I don't think there's enough room for 2 egos like this.
Well, I don't call it ego, it's passion. It is passion by the bucket load, and you're brilliant at what you do. You don't have loads and loads of experience in property, but it doesn't matter, because your passion for what you do, understanding this model, you know, inside out and back to front, being very, very good at sales prior to that as well. You've had so many transferable skills that have made you phenomenal at what you do. So very, very proud to work with you, and let's see where we are in a few months.
Thank you. Excellent to speak to you, Claire.
All right, Danny. See you later.
See ya. Bye-bye.